Hello guys, welcome to the CV crafting tutorial of Boon Digiti. So, a CV or a curriculum vitae is a formal document which includes your professional achievements, work experience, skills, projects that you have done, your publications, and it's essentially a document which you can present to your employers showing that this is who I am, this is what I have done, and this is why you should hire me. So it's imperative that you know how to create a proper CV without any errors. So today in this video, we'll be going through how you can create a proper CV without errors. So we have identified several key points that you have to consider whenever you are making a curriculum vitae or a CV. First of all, the content that you should put in your CV should be relevant. So, whenever you consider, let's say, about the work experience or maybe the education, the things that you should put in your CV should be very much relevant facts, right? Let's say for your educational background, maybe you can put you can even put your term test results and stuff like that, which are really pretty much not relevant, right? Like none of the employees are going to be worried about whether you had what is the mark that you had for your term test and all that, right? The most important educational qualifications are sufficient whenever you the for to be included in your CV, right? And the other thing is, let's say that you are an engineering undergraduate, who also like an electronic engineering undergraduate who also have a background in maybe full stack development, right? Whenever you are applying for an electronic engineering job, it's not that much relevant to include all the projects and the stuff that you have done in the CS, not the computer science related side of full stack development and all that, right? And whenever you are applying for a CS related job, it's not that much relevant that you include all that electronics related projects that you have done. So it's ideal if you can have several CVs so that whenever you are applying for like a very much specific job, you can apply from that CV, which include the skills and the projects that you have done that is relevant to that field that you are applying to, right? So it's always a good thing that you can have if you can have several CVs with only the relevant content to the job that you are applying to. So the second point is the clarity. So all the content that you should that you include in your CV should not clutter your CV, right? So you should have a very simple structure. You should have clear headings, and everything should be very in a very ordered, listed manner. You should like none of the things that you should include that you include in your CV should clutter your CV, right? It should be very pleasant to look at, and it should be very much readable, right? And talking about readability, the font selection also plays a very imperative role. You should only select a very professional font, a very clean font, maybe something like Calibri or Arial or Poppins. It doesn't matter what the font is, but it should be a very professional, very clean font, right? Nothing that is very cursive writing, no fonts like that, right? And also the font size, so as to highlight what's important and maybe what's like the less important stuff, right? So and also the weight or usage of the font can also be used for the same purpose. You can make like the topics bold and the other stuff not bold, right? Yes. And then also the color usage. So you should always stick to a very minimal color. Like you should always avoid the bright colors, and it should be very easy to look at, right? CV should be very easy to look at. And also talking about layout and spacing, you should like properly space everything apart. Keep enough space between the sections of your CV so that it will be very much more clear than a cluttered CV, right? And then most importantly, the grammar and accuracy, right? Because your CV is gonna be the first impression of you for your employer, right? Your employer doesn't know anything about you. The CV is what they're reading about you, and that's pretty much going to give you the first impression of you to your employer. And if your CV has grammar errors and spelling errors, what they're going to be thinking is, if you do not pay enough attention for your professional image, for your CV that basically shows your professional image, then they would pretty much think that you are an irresponsible person who cannot be relied on, right? And the other thing is consistency. If you're following a particular format in within your CV, then you should keep following that format. Let's say you use for titles, you're using a particular font A with the font size of 16 points, right? And you're for the descriptions, you're using font B with the font size of 12 points, right? Then if you're following that layout, you should keep following that layout, right? You can't like change it in the middle of the way and go for a different font, or go for a different font size, right? Yeah, so that's what we meant by consistency. Like, you should always be formatting should be always uniform, right? And minimal visuals. So pretty much avoid using pictures as much as you can. Like, you can include one of your pictures in the CV, but other than that, I don't really think you should include any other pictures in your CV. And also, usage of icons and lines are also not that much appropriate. And proper file format. Save your CV as a PDF format, and whenever you email your CV, attach it as a PDF, because if you attach it as a PNG or a JPEG or like just an image, it's not the best. And also other file formats, it might not like be like they might not have the proper software or stuff to open other file formats as well. So, and PDF is a very widely used format, so it's better to stick with PDFs as well. And even though this is like a very unwritten rule, there's not really a page count in the sense, very strict page count for a CV, but it's better to stick for like 2 to 3 pages for your CV, right? And now we can go look at like a very general sample CV. So first of all, it should include your full name, then your phone number, your email, and also your professional social media like your LinkedIn, or maybe if you have GitHub repos, then your GitHub profile link as well, then your location and such. And then it should include your professional summary, or more like your profile. So in that, it should be like 2 to 3 lines summarizing your professional identity, like which fields are you interested in, your key strengths, likewise, right? Yeah, like don't try to put so many adjectives and all that into this professional summary as well. Just briefly explain, this is who I am, these are the fields that I'm interested in the sector that your company is based on. Likewise, just a very small summary about you, the fields that you're interested in, and like describe who you are in that sector, right? And then next, it should be your professional experience or the work experience, and the work experience should be listed like this. First of all, the position that you held and the company that you held that position in, along with the time period that you were in that company, and then what you did in that company in the particular position mentioned, right? So that's how the professional experience sector should be. And then the education sector. In the education sector, just like in the other sectors, like everything should be arranged in a way it goes from the most important thing to the least important thing, right? So even for professional experience, you should go from the most recent professional experience, and then like in the chronological order, likewise. And even for education, you should first have the highest educational qualification that you have. If you have like a master's or a bachelor's, whatever the highest educational qualification that you have, it should be the first thing that you should mention, and then the next highest educational qualification, and so on, right? And you shouldn't I think it's enough to include the to like stop from your advanced level results. um, if you feel like it's a must, it's fine to include your O-level results, but generally it's sufficient to include your A-level results, because pretty much none of the employees would be going and looking at your results, right? And then you can include your certifications and then also the key projects and achievements that's relevant to that sector. Okay, and then you can include the leadership and volunteering experiences. These are pretty much like the extracurriculars that you have done, just to show that you are a well-balanced all-round person, so that they can trust you with responsibilities, just not just the technical skills that are needed for the to do the job, but that to show that you also have the soft skills that are needed to do the job, right? The leadership roles and the all the soft skills that you're going to need while doing the job, right? And then you can also include the languages that you're doing, and when you include in languages, mention the fluency of your of that each language. And if you can like specify the fluency, like if you have like a level of fluency that can be like quantified, like for like English, if like you have like specific fluency levels, right? So with that you can achieve after doing a particular exam. So if you have done that exam, maybe mention that the qualification, the fluency level in front of the language. And then comes the references, because references also play like a really important part, because those references tell your employer, I have these people who can vouch for that these information are true, and I'm a like very responsible person. So now that we have covered what should be included in your CV, we'll just quickly go through a couple of good CVs that are there. So first of all, um, this person said Nisala Yapa's CVs. So it first has this profile section, says that I'm passionate about robotic, automation, machine learning, software engineering. My enthusiasm for this will drive me, and so on, so on. So here he has mentioned about the fields that that's relevant to the electronics and telecommunication field that he's interested in, and it's pretty much very concisely sums up the fields he are interested in, who he is in this field, and what sort of things he is looking for, right? And then he has his semester projects and the other projects, and then the work experience, then the achievements, certificates, leadership roles, and then finally the references. And on the left hand side he has his contact informations, education, skills, and all that. And overall it looks very clear, and everything is like, it's not cluttered, it's very readable, and the color usage is really nice as well. So this is a very good CV, right? And similarly, this one is also a good CV, right? It has the in order as well, the objective, his professional experience. Sorry about this, and then sorry, his profile, and then the work experience, then the education and his skills, his publications, achievements, the projects he has done that is relevant, and the experience and other responsibilities in the sense of volunteering and the leadership roles he has held, and then the references. Yes, so moving on, now this is an example of a CV that is a little bit cluttered, right? Like when you first look at this CV, the blue colors are popping up too much, and then it's a bit uncomfortable to look at this, right? So that's why you should always stick to like very minimal colors, not that much contrasting. And yes, so whenever you make your CV, try to stick to like very minimal colors, try to stick to like very basic colors like black and white, or maybe in this case scenario, there's a little bit of gray color, grayish color as well, but kind of blends in very really nicely compared to this one, right? Yeah, and here's another example of a good CV. Yeah, everything is really nicely arranged, and he has his profile, his experience, projects, and the leadership and teamwork, and certificate skills, and everything is included, and his social media links are also present over here, and you can just directly click them. So it's a very nice CV overall. And here we have some other examples of some not so good CVs, right? So in here you can see that she has mentioned her personal skills, skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, skill 4, but all these skills are the level of proficiency of those skill is displayed with a particular progress bar, right? But the thing is, none of like your employer doesn't know what this progress bar mean. Where like whether it's 100% full, whether it's 90% full, whether it's 60% full, whether it's 70% full. Like it's not a quantitative measure of how skilled you are in that particular skill that you're talking about, right? So whenever you are like putting a skill like this, try to um, like let's say if it's a language, like mention the proficiency in front, right? If you have like a qualification for that proficiency, then you can mention that qualification in front, right? And in any other case, you can just say that you know the you have these particular skills rather than giving a progress bar or like a little bit of tiny dots to show that you are this much confident in that. Just you can mention some of the projects that you have done which in which you have utilized these skills, right? And that would be a good testimonial, and that would be a good like a example showing you that you have this skill, and like it would be a really good example for them as well, and they would know, okay, this person has this skill because he has used it in this project in this sort of way. So it's always advisable to not include a progress bar, any sort of a thing like this, where it's very messy and then it doesn't provide any useful information to your employer. So if there's like a professional qualification of the level of proficiency that you have for this particular skill, mention that. Otherwise, mention some projects in which you have used this particular skill. Um, yeah, so same can be said about this. And also it's a little bit cluttered, and as you can see the work experience, the description for the work experience is too much. Like there's a one entire paragraph for each work experience, and then yeah, and when it comes to the end of the CV, it's going to be like couple of pages, and your employee is not going to be reading through your entire CV of like 5 6 pages. And it also has these progress bars and stars to show the proficiency, which is once again not advisable. So those are the things that I wanted to cover in this session about CV making. So thank you for joining, and have a good day.